they just can't help themselves. After a disastrous season 2 of Rings of Power, the showrunner is just going out there being all political and crazy right before the election. You could just see how this goes. And you could see the marketing of Rings of Power that's going to be hitting as the ratings are going to come out for the last episodes. They're going to be abysmal, as nobody really sat through the first 3-episode premiere as it was. We saw the drop off so fast on that. And so they're going to make everything political. They're going to make it an identity thing. They're going to call the fans racist. They're going to attack toxic fans. It's a playbook that happens over and over and over again with these people. And they're just going to amp up the political content right now in the stupidest ways possible, because this is nonsense. Oh my gosh. We'll get into this in just a moment. My name's John Delarose, everybody. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Really appreciate you all for being there. I've got a great fantasy series for you if you are interested in reading some fantasy, much better than Rings of Power. It's called The Adventures of Baron von Monocle. It's a 6-book series and builds so nicely into some epic battles and all that, and you don't have to deal with the annoying political messaging in it. You will love this. Just check it out. Obviously not anywhere near Tolkien. It's not even remotely the same kind of thing. I draw most of my influence from Final Fantasy. And here it is. I would love for you to grab this today. Grab the whole series. Get it on ebook, print, or audio, as it's all out there. And I appreciate you guys for being there. That's in the description below. And gosh, I mean, sales of this have been off the charts. So thank you so much, Rings of Power fans, for reading so far. It's been amazing this last couple of months. All right. So Patrick McKay, one of the showrunners for Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, compared the destruction of Khazad-dûm to climate change. Oh, yay. Yay. Stunning and brave, my friends. In an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, following the conclusion of the show's second season, he was asked, "Over in Khazad-dûm, I always had the impression that once the Balrog was released, he wreaked havoc and drove everyone out of the mines immediately. But in your story," yes. And let's amplify this right here, because before we even get into the political stuff, this is the crux of the problem of Rings of Power. But in your story, it's not Tolkien's story. It's not an adaptation of Tolkien's story. It's not somebody drawing from Tolkien's story. It's his story, and that's exactly what Hollywood's done with Rings of Power. It's clearly not anything of Tolkien. It's not anything of Lord of the Rings, except for using the brand as a skin suit and then putting some generic fantasy concepts in there, trying to make their own thing. They've been unabashed about that, and that's why the fans have been so upset. You can't just call something Lord of the Rings and then make your own story. That is why the quote toxic fans are upset with you. It's nothing to do with racism, sexism, homophobia, or any of the other garbage that you want to throw out there. And I know I'm going on a rant right now, but I'm so sick of these people, and I'm so sick of their lies that they espouse about the fans when they go out on this stuff. It's all about the fact that you tried to subvert the expectations. You tried to create your own thing that was for, quote, modern audiences, and so you turned off all the fans intentionally. You courted controversy intentionally. The actor who played Elrond even told us this, that whole kiss between Elrond and Galadriel was intentional for controversy. It was planned that way to generate controversy. And then they gaslight fans after about the controversy, saying there shouldn't be controversy. And they use their media allies to do so. This is the whole problem right here. You treat people like pay pigs. You treat people like they're stupid. And then you demand that they watch and you demand that they love it like you're some kind of entitled brat, you Hollywood star. This is the whole problem right here. This is more of a gradual corruption progress. Yeah, and this whole Hollywood thing was a gradual corruption process. That city is still occupied. They're going to be fighting for it in season 3. McKay responded, "This is a thing where how do societies fall? Usually it's gradually, and then all at once. If you want to use climate change as a metaphor, climate change is not an event. Climate change is a process that ebbs and flows, always headed in the dark direction." It's really interesting that in the last few years they changed everything to climate change rather than global warming, which it was before, because it was debunked pretty quickly that the planet was actually warming all the time. In fact, most scientists are saying, there's going to be a cooling phase because of global warming. It's so insane. None of it makes any sense on the scientific level, obviously. The climate does change. It does ebb and flow, as he says. It's not always in a dark direction, except for, there is something that there's a law of physics called the law of entropy. That is something that exists. But again, that doesn't really have a good or bad value to it whatsoever. They try to make it that way because they want to scare you about politics. It's all a scare tactic for control, because they want to control the energy industry, because they want to control what you do all the time. We know exactly what the agenda is at this point. That's what the globalist elites are doing, and that's what Hollywood does as their mouthpieces for it. It's not a conspiracy. This is done intentionally. It's open. It's in the public, and you know it. Anybody who disagrees with the message from Hollywood gets blacklisted and maligned. We did a video last week about the Shazam star, Zachary Levi, who just endorsed Trump. And immediately all these Hollywood stars just start piling on him, trying to destroy him. They even tried to destroy his charity because of it. And his charity is about helping people with mental illness. It has nothing to do with politics. And yet Will Wheaton from Star Trek is out there going out there saying don't back and fund his charity just because of his Trump support. That's how sick these people are. That's the dark direction that's out there, Mr. McKay. My gosh, I get so irritated with this crap. I think a kingdom as great as powerful as Khazad-dûm does not fall in a moment. He said the fall is a product of many disasters over time. Oh, yes. And I think it would sell Khazad-dûm short for the Balrog to get out and then it's all over. It's more complicated. There's a bigger story to be told here. Gosh, you really don't understand like fun fantasy and epic situations, do you, even as a writer? With the Balrog getting out and wreaking havoc and just absolutely destroying everything, that is what evil does. And when that happens, that's an exciting moment for TV or film or in a book. That is why you don't have the Rings of Power working very well, because you're taking out all of the exciting moments and you're trying to make everything into a boring political drama slog. That is the crux of your problem. That's why the audience doesn't like this. That's why nobody's sitting through all of these episodes at this point. It shouldn't be more complicated. And that's something that's going on across industries because these guys want to make their own stories. They do overcomplicate everything. They do try to over-twist everything. They do try to change everything so that the audience, quote, is surprised. And because of that, they have honestly just destroyed storytelling. Storytelling does not have to be that complicated. Simple is good. There's nothing wrong with that. And you can make a very straightforward story that's a lot of fun. And we've seen it done very often in recent years. But these guys just never get it, do they? So in the Silmarillion, the Tolkien describes the downfall of the dwarves. Sauron gathered into his hands all the remaining rings of power. He dealt them out to other peoples of Middle-earth, hoping to bring under his sway all of those that desired secret power beyond the measure of their kind. 7 rings he gave to the dwarves. The dwarves indeed proved tough and hard to tame. They ill endure the domination of others, and the thoughts of their hearts are hard to fathom, nor can they be turned to shadows. They used their rings only forgetting of wealth and wrath, and of overmastering greed of gold were kindled in their hearts, which evil enough came to the prophet of Sauron. However, for Khazad-dûm and the kingdom was not destroyed until the Third Age. Yes, in the Appendix A of Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, he wrote, "It came to pass that in the middle of the Third Age, Durin was again its king, being the 6th of that name, under the power of Sauron, servant of Morgoth, was then again growing in the world, though the shadow in the forest that looked towards Moira was not yet known for what it was. All evil things were stirring. The dwarves delved deep at that time, seeking beneath Barazinbar for mithril, the metal beyond price that was becoming yearly ever harder to win. They roused from sleep in a terror that, flying from Thangorodrim, had laid hidden in the foundations of the earth since the coming of the host of the west, a Balrog of Morgoth. Durin was slain by it. Durin. Yep. Typo, John. not me, John. The other John. Slain by it. And in the year of Nain, his son, and then the glory of Moira passed, and its people were destroyed or fled far away. So there it is. This wasn't even supposed to happen during Rings of Power. And again, they just have a complete bastardization of Tolkien's work, all because this guy wants to make some sort of political allegory for climate change out of things. Yay. How fun is that? Well, that's why nobody's watching this stuff anymore. And we've gone over the writing practices of why that's bad practice, why these Hollywood writers just don't even know what they're doing. And it's sad to watch. But it's mainly sad to watch just because they're taking the Tolkien brand and running it through the mud. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Do check out some fun fantasy in For Steam and Country. You'll really enjoy this, guys. Grab this and grab all the sequels too. We're picking up a beautiful storyline, which I think you'll enjoy. I built a great world for you. Thanks so much for reading and supporting our channel.